Picture this. 20 million rands, accessible money, sitting there right now. And nobody knows. Not your friends, not most of your family, not your colleagues, not the people you grew up with, not the people you see every week. You drive a reasonable car, you shop at a normal supermarket, you dress like someone comfortable, but not conspicuous. And the R20 million just sits there, working quietly, growing quietly, protected completely, because nobody knows to ask for it, spend it, borrow it, or resent you for it. This is not a fantasy. This is the lifestyle of some of the wealthiest people on the planet, and today we talk about why they chose it.
Stealth wealth, the deliberate choice to accumulate significant money while appearing completely ordinary. No flashy cars, no designer labels, no restaurant pictures, no lifestyle content. Just a quiet, disciplined, private accumulation of assets that grows in the background while the world looks elsewhere. This is not poverty. This is not modesty. This is one of the most sophisticated financial strategies in existence. And in South Africa specifically, where the social and family dynamics around money are intense, it may be the most protective decision a wealth builder can make. Welcome to Rich Behavior. The first thing to understand about real wealth is that it is almost always quieter than people expect. The loudest money in any room is almost never the most significant money in the room. The person in the 1.5 million rands car with the designer watch and the table at the expensive restaurant is performing wealth. The person in the clean Corolla eating a 90 rand meal at a family restaurant who owns the building the expensive restaurant is in is living it. This is not a moral judgment about how people spend. It is an observation about what wealth actually looks like when it does not need an audience. Real wealth is quiet because it does not need to be seen to feel real. The person who needs to show it is usually still working on feeling it.
There are 5 practical reasons why seriously wealthy people choose not to display it. First, privacy. Once people know you have significant money, every interaction carries a new weight. The conversation at a family gathering shifts. The ask is always coming. Second, protection. Visible wealth is a target for opportunists, for criminals, for legal action, for social extraction. Third, relationships. The moment significant money becomes known, it becomes the most important thing people know about you. Every relationship recalibrates around it. Fourth, freedom. Nobody is counting your drinks, your restaurant choices, your holiday destination, or your car when they do not know what you have. Fifth, compounding. Money that is not being extracted by social obligation, family pressure, or the need to perform continues to grow. Silence is a compounding strategy. Here is what people with stealth wealth consistently report about the experience. Freedom. A specific, quiet, profound freedom that is almost impossible to describe to someone who has not felt it. You can walk into any room without being the person with money. You can have any conversation without it. You can decline to pay for things without guilt because nobody knows what you have. You can choose your relationships based entirely on who people actually are rather than what they want from you. You can make financial decisions based purely on strategy rather than on social performance. In a country like South Africa, where the gap between the wealthy and everyone else is one of the widest in the world, and where that gap creates enormous social tension, the freedom of not being visibly on one side of it is genuinely valuable, not just financially, personally. In South Africa specifically, the protective function of stealth wealth is not theoretical. It is practical and immediate. The moment a family member knows the number changes. Not because they are bad people, but because 20 million rands to someone who has never had significant money, is an abstraction. It does not feel like someone else's life savings and investment portfolio. It feels like abundance, like there is more than enough, and surely some can move in this direction or that direction. One request becomes a precedent. One precedent becomes an expectation. One expectation becomes an obligation. And the person managing 20 million rands is now also managing the emotional weight of 20 people's relationship with that number. And the number starts to shrink. Stealth wealth keeps the number yours. And a number that stays yours keeps growing. What does stealth wealth actually look like in a South African context? It looks like driving a well-maintained Toyota or a modest Volkswagen when you could afford something that turns heads. It looks like shopping at Checkers or Pick n Pay instead of always at Woolworth's Food. It looks like wearing clean, well-fitting clothes from ordinary brands instead of logos. It looks like eating at family restaurants and local spots instead of always at the places where being seen matters. It looks like living in a comfortable but not conspicuous home in a decent suburb instead of a property that announces itself. From the the outside, to a friend, a family member, a colleague, nothing looks significantly different from anyone else living a comfortable South African middle-class life. And underneath, quietly, the assets accumulate. The ETF compounds, the rental income arrives, the portfolio grows, and nobody is extracting it, borrowing it, or resenting you for it. That is the lifestyle. Quiet, strategic, protected, free.
20 million rands in a bank account to let the money work instead of letting it perform. It is the choice to build something real instead of something visible. It is understanding that the wealthiest people in any room are almost never the ones the room is looking at. You do not need anyone to know what you have to feel the freedom of having it. In fact, the fewer people who know, the freer that freedom actually is. Build quietly, invest consistently, protect deliberately, and let the silence do what silence does best. Keep what is yours, yours. Subscribe, and if this one made you think differently about how you relate to money and visibility, share it with someone who needs to hear it.